Yes, we are live once again. Once again, it's the Reentry Connect podcast here with mental health challenges. Yes, I'm your host, Keenan Hudson, and we got a good show by my man, Tony Levi Lee. Lee, we appreciate you gathering up everybody. We have a lot of people here on the line from different organizations that's going to be sharing some different resources, different insights on the things we can do to improve our community, not just here in Philadelphia, but all throughout the country and in fact throughout the world as well. So without further ado, we're gonna go around the circle, allow everybody to introduce themselves. We just don't want everybody to just think that, hey, we just on here just having a podcast. No, we have some real meaningful people here on this podcast. So Levi, you can go ahead and start it off, give who you are, who you represent, and why you're here today and why you chose that topic.
How you doing? Hello, everyone. This is Brother Levi, Tony Lee. I'm here today to begin my mission with community development to really make the necessary steps to really get these things done with the team that I have here. I got a lot of good people with me. Everyone's had these curriculums together. We're all ready to launch, and I'm ready to bring this thing to life.
Cool, cool. We appreciate it. And we got Mr. William H., the mentor. Could you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell the people who you are? You on mute, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is William H., the mentor. I am the director and founder of Street Family Behavior Healthcare. My company is based, I am an emotional support consultant. I help people navigate through mental differences, and I've developed programs throughout my incarceration that help individuals that's dealing with trauma, that's dealing with depression, that's dealing with PTSD. I have a program called STALL that stands for Stop, Think, Accountability, and Listen. It's a coping skills punishment prevention program. I have a sensitivity training program called LOVE. It stands for Listen, Observe, Validate, and Empathize. I believe with these two programs, it can build your integrity well.
Cool, cool. Okay, and we got a Mr. John McKay, Life Outside the Streets. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let them know who you represent.
Peace and love, everyone. My name is Jan Hakeem McKay. I'm the founder and president of Life Outside the Streets, where our mission is to treat trauma through arts, education, and information using brain health. And we're going to talk a lot about that today.
Cool, we appreciate that. And without ado, I know we should have let her go first, but it's all good. You say the first should be last and last shall be first. I'm quite sure she can attest to that. But Ms. Natalie Cox, Pastor Natalie Cox here. You go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be on the line and amongst all these fine gentlemen who are doing great things in the community. I represent Community Holiness Church at 6222 Lansdowne Avenue in Philadelphia. And also I am the president of the Cure Ministry, which is Christians United to Revitalize and Empower. And through that, we go out in the community. We help people who are in need. We pray for people. We also go to the nursing homes and we feed those that are less fortunate.
That's great. That's great. We appreciate that introduction there. And like I said, I know that Levi definitely came up with this title about the mental health challenges, the things that we go through on a daily basis from childhood up to even when we got incarcerated. We spend time, even went through more challenges. However, even when we come home, we go through even more challenges. But for the most part, we're just touching on how we deal with these things and how we cope with them in a sense that we can share and enlighten others as well. So Levi, we want you to go ahead and kick it off. Why did you pick the title of mental health challenges?
I picked that title first and foremost because I feel like it's one of the most important things to be straighten out your life. Like if you can't straighten out your mind first, then your actions are going to follow your mind. And me personally, I've been going through a lot of traumatic things, PTSD, depression, stress. Whereas though I feel as though these are one of the biggest things that's holding me back from being the best person I can be. So I want to help my people out with the same issue.
Okay. Cool. Go ahead. Anybody feel free to chime in. We just be respectful of everybody's time. You're on mute, the mentor, if you're speaking.
I have developed a program dealing with Yamake, brother Yamake, and Levi, brother Levi. One of the programs I dealt with, one of the programs we push, and they love it. It's called STAR. I was telling you earlier. It stands for Stop, Think, Accountability, and Listen. This program is designed to teach you how to stop in the middle of a crisis situation and think. So real quick, if y'all don't mind, I just want to give y'all this 2 PowerPoints, if I can, on the definition, define the S and stop.
Okay, go ahead. Just share. Be mindful for 2 minutes.
2 minutes, real quick. I'm only gonna do 2 PowerPoints real quick. So understanding the importance of stopping. The objective, point 1, to introduce the concept of stopping and the most crucial importance of stopping and making a positive situation in a difficult, challenging situation. Activity, discuss, facilitate discussions about the consequences of impulsive decisions and the importance of taking a pause before reacting. What y'all think about that?
Cool, powerful.
Yes.
Appreciate you sharing that. Definitely. Okay. You, Mr. John, you on mute.
All right. So you already know how I feel about it. You know, that's exactly where the
brain training.
Right. It's exactly where the work gets done. So you know, what brother Dr. Williams just talked about was the emotional, which you said STAR, right? Stop and think.
The stop, think, accountability, and listen. I said right. Stopping is the most crucial part of the whole step because it calls you to stop.
Right. No, and I think what I would just add to that is that it's the most important first step.
Right.
See,
it's the most important.
Too often, you know, we grow up in a culture where we are equipped to be multi talented, or you know, a you know, what would they call it? I could do more than things. Multitasking, right? But when you're dealing with a conflict in particular, or you're just trying to make a solid decision, you know, back to my brother's point, stopping has been a big thing for us because we've been on a run. You understand? Yeah. We've been on a run since we was kidnapped. So, you know, it's literally, you know, I know I'm seeming like I'm painting a picture, but you know, what my expertise is come in brain health is that there's actual chemistry going on in our body with ourselves. You understand? That is angsty. It's in our DNA. You know, this running attitude, like we're on a run. So, you know, I just want to really paint a picture of how important it is that first step of learning how to stop. It seems something so simple, but in order to think effectively, stopping is the most important step. So, yeah, thank you for that, Doctor.
It's the most important, man. It's
powerful. And I believe we just welcome I believe, if I'm not pronouncing it right, I mean wrong, Kaisha or Kashia. I'm sorry.
It's Keisha.
It's Keisha. Okay, I'm gonna just say Keisha. I'm sorry. Thank you for coming to the show. Yeah, so I'm sorry. But just to touch on that, as you said, sometimes we gotta stop, you know, think about a lot of different things in life in general. When we're dealing with mental health challenges. I know that when I went to prison some time ago, and even going as a juvenile, you know, that was a huge detriment to my mental. You know, and prior to that, losing my mother at an early age, you know, I was only 13 years old when she was diagnosed with cancer and then passed away. So just imagine the type of mental health challenges that I went through at that point. You know, then going through the prisons, then being certified as an adult, being, you know, thrown in with the lions. It's like, you know, it does something to you, especially after you spend over a decade in prison. So there's a lot of things that that we overlook, and we overlook them to the point to whereas we think it would have no effect of when we do return to society. So I know that there are plenty of things that some may not mention that they go through, especially men. Let's just be honest, you know, us, you know, not just being Black men, but even, you know, of different cultures, of different nationalities, we're still people. So we go through things that we'd rather not share with people, We never not rather not put out there because we feel as though people would judge us, you know. So we rather bottle those type of things in. So yeah, just go. We can keep going. Miss Pastor, Miss Natalie Cox.
Yes, yes. I agree with everything that's being said. You know, counseling, I think, is a very critical key because, you know, we, even though people go through things, they need to, like you said, stop, but also get the help that they need. They need to have someone who's going to help pull them out sometimes.
Right. That's why I developed the emotional support companionship buddy system.
Great, great.
You know what I'm saying? And I made it cheap. I made it for people, you know, because I know everybody don't have it. So I charge $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
If you got insurance, I might charge more because of insurance. But out of pocket, I charge $20 an hour. And I come to your house, I clean, I help you cook, I go to your doctor appointment with you, I take you shopping, I go out with you, I do activities with you to keep you mentally active. Because it's about coping with the dysfunction of having neuronal development disorders. You got to cope with it.
Good.
You know, I work with autistic children. I tell the teachers every day, y'all got to activate y'all degrees because these diagnoses that they have at these IEPs and things of that nature, from time to time or maybe all the time, they gonna act on what they diagnosed with because they chemically structured a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no malice in it if they really act out. It's just the way they program.
Cool.
So you gotta know how to deal with people you gotta know how to deal with the mentality of the people that you servicing.
Absolutely. So JC or Keisha, do y'all got any input on that?
I think they could.
We
Keisha.
can't hear you, Keisha.
It don't look like she on mute though.
Yeah, she's not on mute.
You're not on mute, but we can't hear you.
Yeah.
She is on.
We'll come back. Yeah, she just went back on me. She's gonna come back in.
Okay.
JC, do you want to touch on that?
Oh,
She went out. Go ahead, Pastor.
Okay, cool, Pastor. Go ahead, Pastor Cox. You can go ahead.
Oh, yes. No. I like what I had a question for William Dementi.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think your program sounds really engaging and is very helpful. I'm wondering, do you do anything online?
Do I do what?
Anything online. So in other words, people who you can't get out to, who are further away, can you reach them? Okay.
Yes. I will create a Zoom.
Good.
You know what I'm saying? Or you know, they have my phone number. I FaceTime or however the case may be. Duo. You know, it was called Telelink, Telehealth now.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so I utilize it like that. You know, do the Zoom or the you know the FaceTime, whatever. I have 24-hour services. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
You can call me anytime. I don't got no curfew.
Okay.
Because you never know. I'm comfortable sleep. So if you calling me, I mean you're not comfortable. Because you calling me. So why I'm gonna worry about me being comfortable when you not? You just called on me. I'm up.
And what is the age group that you represent or you assert?
From the ages of comprehension.
Okay. I
gotcha. So quick question, everybody. Just throw it out there. So what do you do when you have a mental breakdown and you have nowhere to turn to? When people need the necessary resources in natural life, such as employment or housing, what do you do?
So can you clarify that a little bit when you say?
So, you know, say I'm just coming home from prison or I'm trying to get back on my feet from a recovery house and you just have nowhere to turn because you have no family. You have nobody to turn to. How do you move forward?
So go ahead.
The first, excuse me, the turn to God first.
Amen to that.
Hey, man, because I've been there and I'm still there. You know, you gotta, I mean, turn to him because he's moved double armor. He's control of all affairs. He's out of Razak. He's the giver of everything. So we got to turn to the one who's gonna provide. Because everybody else gonna have it, but if it ain't meant, we ain't gonna get it.
Amen. I'm glad you brought that up. So, in medical school, and I'm not in medical school, but however, if you do any research in medical school, they teach the doctors to look at health through 4 circles of life and 4 circles of health. And those circles are psychological, your brain health, physical, your overall physical health, your social circle, and then your spiritual circle. I bring that up because, you know, often when we go to doctors, I know I've never been to a doctor and they checked on my spiritual well-being, my spiritual circle, and making sure I have anything. But I say that to say that, you know, I know amongst the community, we all talk about God, but I wanted to make the point that our doctors and the medical professionals in the field that serve us, they are supposed to be, you know, bringing up and sharing that priority as well. As a believer, you understand, you know, my faith is definitely where I start with everything and what I recommend to any and everybody navigating through things. However, you know, the people that's playing God, you understand, the government, right? The government is where you really have to do, you understand, I want to say this, you know, you have to turn to, what is it, the welfare office or county assistance. You understand? That is the role of government and nonprofits, is to fill those voids when you don't have family. So, you know, to anybody listening and wondering and struggling, you know, some of us have a lot of different complex, you know, positions with government. I mean, especially if you're incarcerated, you might not feel the best about government. And I understand that. I'm a returned citizen myself. However, we have to separate ourselves from the role of the service. And I'm telling you, the person that's offering you the service may not be the best, but the role of government and nonprofits and, you know, organizations that are out there to provide. There are a lot of organizations. So I was to that person, I would say directly, turn to support systems. Start with a church. Start with, not because I'm trying to tell you to be spiritual, but because the churches everything was built through the church, and the churches have a lot of government-like resources, but you don't got to go through government-like processes. You understand? But also please utilize the government resources. We don't have to agree with the government, but it is a part of the whole system out here, and the actual system has a lot of resources.
Got you. Thanks for the input. Is that JC? You want to give a touch on that? You're on mute, by the way.
So I'm gonna tell you, I didn't hear majority of the conversation because I was trying to log on you from my phone, and I just been hearing bits and pieces.
Okay, it's all good. Yeah, we were just touching on, like, if we were in a situation, if we were speaking to somebody right now that had nowhere to turn and was dealing with mental health challenges and needed some necessities in life, such as employment or even housing, what type of direction would you steer them to?
Well, God first and foremost. But besides that, I will utilize the resources I have. I have a couple of my resources here and there that can venture out them in the right direction.
Can you share the names of them? We on the air. They just might be tapping in. If you care to share, I didn't share any names. I'm just saying.
I don't have that resource right in front of me right now.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good. How about you, Pastor Natalie?
Yes, and the same way. It will be a case-by-case basis, and I would do the research that's necessary to meet the person's need, and just bring them through that way, and find out what exactly I could do and who I can get in touch with, refer them to, and there are a lot of resources out there. So yes. Offhand, I would have to know, like you said, they're looking for housing. You would go to the shelters or whatever in the beginning, but you can't just leave them there with the shelters. You have to be there for them, But the first thing is to make sure that they have their immediate needs, that they're not out in the cold, that they do have food and things that they need. So,
that's one of the things I have a proposal for a 100-bed shelter right now.
Wow. Great.
I also, I wrote a proposal to put a work initiative program with what's that, tri-state CDLs, because
Okay.
the men that's coming home, the people that's coming home, they need a trade. This is why I structured Street Fame Behavioral Health Care. I collab with Life Outside the Streets, because we creating jobs when it comes to mental wellness, companionship. We creating jobs. We got the Yon Burgers. We got the clothing lines. We there's a lot of things that we doing. That we creating a platform for people that need assistance coming home.
Gotcha.
They got the Fountain Fund Foundation that we getting with, that they assist the people that's coming home. This is the foundation just for the people coming home.
And to add to that as well, so during incarceration, a lot of times you may have heard of units referred to as the special needs unit, SNU, or the SMU, which is the special mental health unit as well. So a lot of these individuals, of course, needed like peer assistance. A lot of times they couldn't cope, with regular things of life, even being inside there, let alone if they were released. So for individuals that are capable of getting up, filling the application out, applying for different government assistance and things like that, as they properly said, you seek the necessary resources, such as organizations, churches, different types of outreach programs that are allotted out here. Because a lot of times, going back to the pride issue, a lot of individuals deal with a lot of pride, and they don't want to feel as though like, wow, they're going to look at me a certain way. I mean, there's been times where I had to search for a job some years ago, and I would walk into an establishment, want to fill out the application, but then I see it was a lot of people there, so I had to turn out and just leave out. Like, nah, forget that. I don't want people laughing at me, but me not knowing that people were pretty much in the same situation that I was in. So again, utilizing that, going to these temp agencies is a big thing. Temp agencies, it may not be the job that you want, but it's some type of steady employment. You want to always keep money coming in, period. And again, utilizing, like you said, the shelters, halfway houses, transition solely, which is a great thing. So, so my next question is,
Hey, Keenan, before you jump,
sure.
I just wanted to offer some direct resources.
Okay, cool.
For example, and I know they're not the best, but still, your probation or your parole officer, that's what their job is supposed to be. They're supposed to do that. So, just ask them, don't say that's your job supposed to be, but, just really really work that resource. And let me just say this, be mindful that, these people, especially in Philadelphia, are difficult to work with. I don't have no other way to put it, but don't let the unprofessionalism of the professional deter you from the resource. But yeah, I wanted to say your probation and parole is an organization called PAN, or Philadelphia's Anti-Drug and Anti-Violence Network. They respond to all of the murders and things, like literally every single one. So they're equipped with jobs and all of that. So they're dealing with crisis, and they have a network. So if you go there, they're welcoming you with open arms. They're on the streets every day. They're 24 hours. And then I would say log on to letshealphilly.org. That's the Life Outside the Streets website. Get connected with one of us. Get connected with Keenan. Just get connected with anybody you see appearing to be a community person. Even if they don't have everything you need, they'll connect you to more and more people. So just grab hold of anybody presenting resources is the short version of what I want to say. Thanks, Keenan.
Gotcha. Okay. So another quick question. And it's basing around the peer assistant thing. Now, I know when we were younger, they used to have things called like the Big Brother, Big Sister program. But now that we're older, we refer to, hey, you got to have a mentor in your life. Why is it very important to have a mentor around you? Not a homeboy, not your homegirl, but an actual mentor to steer you in the right direction. Why is that important?
Because you need because they're your guardrails. when you're driving on your road, you got guardrails. The guardrails let you know when you transgress your boundaries.
Mm.
So your mentors is your guardrails on your path when you journeying through life. Once they come on board, you can get on that lane. They help you navigate and keep you on course.
Gotcha.
Good stuff. Good stuff, Dr. William.
Mhm.
Pastor?
Mhm.
Well, yes. I think having a mentor is something that we all need, and sometimes you just can't wait for a mentor to pick you, for you to become the mentee. You have to grab hold of a mentor and make sure that they're in your life, because again, they've been where you're going. And sometimes you can have several mentors. You might have mentors for different things in your life. But yes, it's very critical. And again, you have to be proactive a lot of times to have a,
Yes.
whether it's in business, whether it's in, relationships, whatever it is, you got to seek it out. So mentors can be very, very instrumental. But again, sometimes you have to be proactive and you have to seek them out. Not wait for them to come to you.
Powerful. Thank you.
Mhm.
JC?
Mhm.
Whew. A mentor is very important because it gives you the guidance and the structure that you don't get at home. You don't get from whatever it is that you've been around. It's very important in regards to building a foundation that you want to be created as far as that.
That's right. Amen.
Mm.
I would like to chime in and talk about the
Mhm.
mentor as it relates to brain development, meaning our brains aren't fully developed until we're 25 as men, 28 as women. That's what the science says. And under those premises, I believe it is extremely important that you have a mentor during up until those ages. Number one, because the last part of the brain that is developed is the thinking part where you can make decisions. Up until then, and so in the capacity, most of us, we're all just parents dependent upon our support system. So your mentors and whoever is around you, you're solely dependent upon, because you really can't gather up and conjure up your own thoughts on the level that you could be when you get on the other side of 25 and 28. The last thing I want to just share is what the actual mentor is. A mentor is someone that is a generation older than you. I actually say preferably 25 or 28 or older. Why? They have the thinking part of their brain. You want them to be your guardrails with experience. You understand? Your mentor cannot be your peer, cannot be somebody your same age. They cannot be your mentor, because the purpose of a mentor is to help provide you with things that they have experience in that you do not. So if you have a mentor or somebody too close in your age, they're only giving you from 20 to 30 is the same window. You understand? Yeah. So your mentor needs to be someone that is much, a generations ahead of you. And basically their primary goal is just to help you. Meaning it's not about you. It's not about the relationship you had. It's not about you being on the team. They're genuinely there to help you just for as you. And help you in a positive way. A mentor is somebody that's introduced you to do things to help you be productive and positive.
Absolutely. And you bring up a good point, which actually leads to the next point of trust issues. Now, a lot of individuals come up, troubled household, troubled in the streets, been abused sexually, mentally, physically, in so many different ways. But when they grow up, even in group homes, because I've been a part of, being a director at group homes over an organization and things like that. And I've noticed that a lot of the kids, a lot of them have been brought up through a lot of pain and a lot of hatred and things of that nature. So here it is years later, after they went through all this torment. How do you tell somebody, hey, trust in this person, or hey, trust in somebody that I'm going to recommend you to? How do you expect them not to resist? Sometimes I know that could be, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
That cool, y'all. Can I jump in there first?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to direct them to trust the system and help them understand that individual was a faulty part of the system. They were a misrepresentation of the system. You understand? And what that system is there to do, like foster care and all these great things. But when bats, and sometimes, and obviously, I would say, we're going to talk to the person that I used to the scenario was they have been wrong. Obviously, this person, you know what I mean? You experienced a person that did not follow the system. So we cannot throw away the system. You understand? Like we've done in spirituality, you know, we've had bad experiences in church and the masjid and with spirituality. And a lot of people have thrown away the system of God, you know, the whole word of God, because they had a bad experience with a person. You don't want to throw away government support. That's what I was talking about earlier, because the government is and has been racist towards Black people. But it's the government system is actually designed in our favor. But we have a lot of misrepresentation from Black and white people. So, you know what I mean? So that's what I would say is that, you know, I will help focus them on the value of the system, and what my role would be to help them protect them. So I will offer them support, like Brother William, you said, and Brother Levi is, they will walk you through it. So we're offering that support and that oversight to make sure that they are, you know, being handled with the proper care, especially after being wrong. So that's what, and let them know that it's a process. It's a process, and it's important to build trust into systems that work, but don't put your trust in people. Thank you.
Right. Well, I would say what he said was right on point. But I think it's very important that we meet the person where they are, and not just meet them where they are, but also show them some examples. Maybe introduce them to somebody who's maybe been through some things that they've been through, and maybe they can relate to them better, because they may not relate to you.
Yeah.
You know, they may not relate to me, but there is somebody who maybe they can relate to, and just show them how somebody else succeeded, who's been through what they're going through.
And what is that? That's a mentor, right?
Yeah.
And they ain't got to be 25 years older. I'm gonna tell you, because they here to help you, like you said. So if I've been through what you've been through, and I made it, and you going through it, then I'm gonna guide you through what I know. It worked because I'm the one helping you. This is a proof that it worked, because I'm here. I'm the one showing you. I've been through this. I'm gonna bring you out of that.
Okay.
Right? And what you said, one real quick. This is the second program that Street Family Behavioral Health Care and Life Outside the Streets has. It's called LOVE. It's a sensitivity training. It stands for listen, observe, validate, and empathize. You learn how to do these things after you learn how to stop, think, account, and listen to your own self. So now you know how to deal with you, and you know how to deal with the people. You become a balance to the whole situation.
Gotcha. Okay, let's hear from Keisha. You got you over there. You're not just on the camera just to be looking all pretty. Oh, you're gonna elaborate on this.
Thank you. I don't have anything to say at the present time. I'm gonna let y'all go to the next your next thoughts. I'll come in then.
Okay. All right, cool. Back to JC.
Yes.
Okay.
State that question again for me.
About trust issues, about how do we trust somebody, that recommends somebody that when we've been through a lot of things in childhood and through a lot of the abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, how do we just trust somebody to be our mentor after we've been through all that years later?
How do we trust somebody, or how do we bring trust to someone who's been through it?
You can answer it both ways. You can.
Okay. I mean, as far as bringing trust to the situation, you have to allow the person to be comfortable. And when they're comfortable, they become vulnerable. And the thing is not just to approach the situation as is. No, you make them comfortable enough to where they want to talk to you, to express their feelings and their concerns. And then this is where you know how to identify certain areas where they need help in, and you can help them venture off and in and be able to trust the system. But we have to be the ones to get them there. You understand? Because the system already failed them. You understand? So they need an outsider to make them feel comfortable enough, which will make them feel vulnerable enough to be open enough to accepting something different from someone who already did them wrong, and that's the system.
Wow, that was powerful.
Where
All
you
right,
at?
now.
You at,
Okay.
Mr. Keenan? You at?
He asked for it.
Hey, she threw that. She
He
threw that
asked
at me,
for it.
right? Yeah, my bad. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, that's
Slap.
it. That's it.
Don't play with
That's,
me.
hey, that's what I'm talking about.
That's
It's just
the circle, man.
good, powerful discussion here. Especially with these mental health challenges is very important. Again, this is a topic that most people just don't touch on. When you look at the social media and stuff like that, everybody's talking about leveling up, making the money and doing this, getting to the back and all these things, but they're not telling you behind closed doors, they having mental breakdowns. They crying in the shower. They can't think or sleep right. You know what I mean? So these are some of the things that, and I'm gonna just open the floor. If y'all want to throw something out there, which I want to touch on, just throw it out there. I ain't got to ask all the questions. Just open the floor up.
So what I want to throw,
Tony, go ahead. About said, leave our ass up.
Go ahead, throw out there is a lot of those problems I dealt with coming up as a child. You know what I mean, as a youth, and then until young adulthood, dispositions with the women, just lack of patience, not controlling anger, not knowing how to deal with stress that came along in my life. And my biggest thing right now is I refuse to be an influence for the next generation that they influence me. I refuse to be the same influence that the older people above me were for me. And I refuse to sit here and lead a false narrative, knowing where that narrative is going to lead after I already went through that already. For the people that are influenced by me, that's looking up to me. So that's my biggest purpose in doing what I'm doing right now.
Cool. Appreciate that.
Hey, I wanted to double down on trust real quick and just say, I think you said, well, how do you trust, right? And I think the it's important to say you don't trust after you experience that. You do not trust. You reset and go back to building trust. You feel me? Like the question is, how do you trust after that? You don't. It's important for people to know it's okay not to be okay. You are okay not to trust after being violated. People need to hear that. That's a big thing, a part of my strategy that I double down on, validating their disposition with the situation. That is so important. We want to get to all the fix. Whoa, they need that moment. They're there because nobody gave them that moment efficiently.
Right.
So I just wanted to double down that when you lose trust, the word to that person, you are not to trust. You are to understand that you at the beginning of building trust with those people or supports again. We got to acknowledge where people are at.
The only way trust gonna ever be rebuilt, you got to feel it. A person action got to show you. You got to show me that you every time that I need you, and that however we structured, you got to fit them corners.
That's right. Empathy and compassion. That's how you got to walk.
So if you handle me with care every time, eventually I'm gonna see that this ain't no game, because I don't did some things that constituted you showing me otherwise.
Okay.
Amen.
But you dealing with an infection. We're not dealing with the outer layer of the infection. We gonna dig deep in the core, because we want to eradicate it. So we know we're dealing with a person who's bipolar, schizophrenic. They got PTSD. They got acute distress disorder. They have they hear things, so they might be aggressive at times. Don't trust.
Excuse me, brother. I wanted to chime in on one more thing. We've been dealing with a lot of murders from the police officers and aggravated assaults, things like that. I wanted to try to start a program where we can look into trying to get these law enforcement officers some mental health help, because they're dealing with a lot of things on a day-to-day basis that they're not even mentally capable of dealing with.
We already got that, Lee. We got
where they at? Because I need them. Where they at?
We have we have the Street Family Compassionate and Mercy Response Program that help the police first understand mental health, two, understand mental health on themselves, and three, to be able to identify a situation with a team of emergency response outside the police force that can assist them when it comes to a disturbance on a call.
Excuse me, but how many of them are really going to come and network with you to try to make things better? How many?
When you lay it down at the top, the bottom gonna drop.
All right,
Ain't no,
now.
I'm not
All right.
worrying about nobody not doing it. You gonna have no choice.
Not us. I'm saying the officers.
That's what I'm talking about. When you drop it at the top, the bottom gonna drop. You don't have no choice. It's called the domino.
All right, Dr. Williams, make it plain for
Well,
please.
so when is gonna happen? I mean, when we gonna start this? Because I need.
I got the proposal now. I'm just waiting to see. I'm just waiting for us. I got to go to the police commissioner and the mayor. I got
we have each other's number. I would like to go with you when you go to do certain things with that, because that's a touchy situation for me, as you know my story, like a lot of other you do.
Right.
So I'm gonna ride that wave with you.
Miss Keisha, if you don't mind, I don't know if you feel comfortable with sharing your story for those who don't know, because I don't know either. But if you would like to elaborate on that, I would appreciate that, just to enlighten the viewers to know who you are.
My name is Keisha Hartman. My son name is Zaheem Terrell Hartman. He was killed April 6th by the police officers down Eric Terminal. And they said that my son killed himself when they killed him. As well as, I'm not taking anything from him, but he didn't deserve to die. And when they went in the house and killed my son, he was unarmed. So, like I said, it was a wrongful death. But I done wrote Larry Krasner. I done talked to Shaka Fatah. I done talked to the district attorneys, the NAACP. Like, I did my work. And everybody is just like shut me down. So in order for me to get the help that I need, I had to relive this nightmare. And it takes a toll on me. So I play a little bit and then I go back into it. But I'm never going to give up on it. But I don't know. My son will be going this April, 2 years. And I don't know what cop did it. I don't have any ballistics. I don't have anything. So at the end of the day, a coroner never even came to my house and told me my son was deceased. I had to literally get my son's body out of the morgue because they told me they didn't have him. I said, "You're a liar. This is the only morgue in Philadelphia." So I literally had to do all the work for my son. And to this day, like I said, I still don't have any answers. I don't have a body cam. I don't have a nothing. They might still be out here working. I despise the police to the utmost, and I apologize to. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but I have no respect for them at all. So that's why I said, when you go to touch that certain aspect, I would like to ride with you, because maybe God can change my heart. Because right now, I don't care how this go, but if I can do what they did to my son and get away with it like they doing, I would. Because at the end of the day, I'm not taking anything from him. Like I said, he was still a kid. And they shot him in his arm. He was already unarmed when y'all came in. So then they gave him a headshot. Why? Sorry.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot. I deal with this on a regular. And then I have 5 other children that I still have to deal with. And I have 5 in their mental health. So I deal with a lot on a daily basis. And it's just me. I try to, and I'm a motivative. I'm strong, but I break too. But how can I be that strong for them? I don't want to go in therapy because there's nothing a therapist can tell me that can help me deal with my stuff in a manner to make me understand on my level if you're not in my shoes. So it's nothing no one can tell me. I just pray. And when it get too bad, I pray all the time. But when it get too bad for me, I get on my knees. It's nothing nobody can tell me to make me dissect this in a smaller manner, to make me feel any kind of way. I don't care who it is.
Wow. Yeah, first and foremost, Ms. Keisha, I'm sharing my condolences, because I did not know your situation. So sorry for the loss of your son, and I can know that can be a extreme mental health challenge. Trying to cope with a loss of a child, and only a person that's been through that situation can, share their types of coping with that. nonetheless, I know that it's a lot of people on there viewing, especially from the different platforms over on LinkedIn, state officials, people that's of authority that can challenge situations like that. And as the brother, the mentor said, he's going forth to really place a move on that occasion. So I'm here for your support as
I
well. I know
appreciate that.
along with others as well. So
Thank you.
you know, because often things do happen in the city of Philadelphia, and a lot of times they go unnoticed. You know, it doesn't come up in the media. They'll just bypass it as if nothing happened. You know, they put on the media what they want to put on.
But I'm not. I
mhm,
like I said to you. They said that he killed himself. I literally, because the news broadcasters kept calling me, and at first, by me just losing my son, I didn't understand how to deal with it at the time.
mhm,
So my cousin kept calling me like, "Cuz they trying to get in touch with me." I just cussed her out, and then I had to apologize because, wow, look at this. I said, "Look at God." That was how I got my story out because they had my son on the front page news. Somebody had took a picture of him with guns. All kids have guns. Don't try to make him to be this monster. If we just don't know what our kids do. Of course, I didn't know he was out here. He would tell me things, but I didn't know it was to the. It wasn't to the demeanor where it was. But okay, I'm not. He's a kid. We all have done things at the
yeah,
end of the day, but they just tried to make him this monster that he wasn't. And then they
yeah,
said that he killed himself. So I went on national TV and told them, "Yo, y'all killed my son. He didn't kill himself." So then the
mhm,
next day they put that on the front page that the cops killed him. But okay, where is the? And I'm not looking to get a right. I'm not looking for a check or anything. Just the wrongful doing because he didn't deserve to die. And I understand what he did. And he was negligent because he just started shooting and never looked back. So that's how the innocent people got hit. But my
mhm,
son was a protector of women. This is why he was even in the situation from the beginning. This is how he
mhm.
got here from protecting a woman. So
Wow.
at the end of the day, I just want the person who did what they did to be reprimanded for it. He was. They took him out. So now what?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Does anybody else want to share on that?
Yeah, I
Any
got
type of
one thing. I wanted to ask brother brother Jan, if he could give a briefing on his emergency response curriculum that he had put together that I heard about.
Well, yeah, I mean, you just heard it. Me and Herbert have partnered. You understand, and we're one. The aspect that maybe Levi may want me to share about is the academy, where we've developed a leadership program. If you don't know, the military and National Guard, there are leadership programs that teach combat skills. But the curriculum in them is teaching you leadership skills, communication skills, discipline, life skills. So we've developed our own community-based National Guard because right now, we are the only people on the planet without security. So what I mean by that is every other culture, they have their own army, security, or something. In our neighborhoods, there's the police and all of these security agencies are here to protect the government and businesses. If our own mayor, when we were calling on the National Guard as citizens, he said he said it. He put it on the record. The National Guard is here to protect businesses. That's why when the looting or the uprising happened, National Guard came to protect businesses. They put them all where the shopping centers are at. So these security agencies are not here to protect the citizens. So that means we don't have any security. Other cultures like the Asian culture and Jewish culture, they invest and they have their own security. So security for Philly, it's not just a service, it's an academy. And whether you plan on being trained as a professional to be a security professional or not, our position is every individual in our village needs to be trained on how to keep themselves safe and their family safe. So our priority is to get everybody trained. Just like when we were in grade school, the firefighters taught us all about fire safety and about a fire alarm smoke detector. Our position is with that same attitude on that same level. This is everybody learning self-security, how to keep yourself safe and your family safe, how to have adequate conflict resolution skills, adequate, prevention skills, mental health first aid. You understand all of the emergency services deal with behavioral issues, but we don't have the training in mental health first aid, the training that's around the brain, and that's driving all of the behaviors that are causing, emergencies and conflicts. So, so just really equipping, we have an academy is the short version in conjunction to the service. We have an academy that is from kindergarten up to adult age, modeling what they call the Young Marines program. So the Young Marines program is basically the Marines version of a Club Scout program. So, in my investigation of looking for supports, I found that. So I modeled our program after that because I know that's a government funded program and they will be a support to our program, but just to point out something that's established to be the model of what it is we're establishing of our own.
Right. So
I answered Levi's question. I wanted to chime in and speak to Miss Keisha. Can I do that?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Just to be mindful, we are coming up on the hour. So we do have 10 minutes. So we can definitely everybody limit to like 2 minutes or whatever they want to chime in.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Miss Keisha, number one, I definitely knew your son had passed, but I did not know the details. So I definitely thank you for sharing and again, send my deepest condolences. And I just wanted to double down on that as it relates to us, Black people, African Americans, that that's all of our story in the sense of how our ancestors got here and America never changing their position with us.
Right.
So whether you and as it relates to the police and how Keisha was mishandled, that is a current reality for us. It's not an isolated incident. You understand? And that is why we created Security for Philly and we created all these programs so that we can establish it. So I just say to the community and to those listening, in a nutshell, we just need y'all to sign up for training because once we got the numbers on paper, we got the numbers to press the button for the funding. You understand? From private sector and primarily, we are not looking for government funding. This is going to be funded by the people that are getting the service. You understand? That's why we have so because we're invested in ourselves and we're serving communities that are invested in themselves. And even if you don't have the money, you can volunteer and work it off. But we're going to own this thing and the government is going to pay their fair share. That's why we're going to bring up government and private sector. So our position is that this will be self-sufficient. And whenever we're bringing up government, it's for them to pay their fair share because government was designed to work for us.
Right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Queen. Go ahead, Pastor. I'm sorry.
Yes. I just wanted to say that I wanted to extend my condolences to you, Keisha, and your family.
Thank you.
And I want you to know that, we're here for you because the way that the system works, you have to, as the mentor said, you got to start at the top. So that means, you have the right people, you have to go to the media, whatever needs to be done, but we have to do it as a group. We have to, you're not there by yourself. I just want you to know that.
And what I'm about to say, I'm not glamorizing, but I want to say this. When back in the day, when the cops can't protect us. They can't protect our neighborhoods. Only the men. It was a time when the streets was loaded, when it was money out here on these streets, and they had corners. The women was safe to walk home. The old lady was safe to go outside. The men was on the street. The same men home, but we got the different mentality. We are now trying to find rectification. So once the men get on the street, this is how I think. Once the men get on the street and stand in position, then everything gonna fall in place because this is what we was made for.
Amen.
Thank you, Mom.
You're welcome.
Amen. Yes, sir.
That's what it's made for.
Amen. And but the key about that, organizing the men, but they must be trained.
This is why they got the program.
And that's what we're bringing. Right now, when it comes to mentors, when it comes to credible messengers, and it comes to these frontline people from the community, there is no standard training. And you understand? And that is a big problem. That is a very big problem. It's a safety problem. We got everybody that is passionate about mentoring and doing the right thing is not trained and equipped to do the right thing. So I just want to double down and say that is what we're bringing for us all. That standard training. And I'm not saying we're going to make it decide what that standard is alone, but we're bringing a version of it. And I just want to communicate to the community that we're coming and bringing it to you to approve and to fine tune, to establish a standard for all. None of us are safe until all of us are safe.
Absolutely. And we appreciate everybody chiming in and giving all their input on the different topics for the night. So without further ado, if we can just go around giving our accolades, how can we be contacted, whether it be email, what your organization is, how can we get involved? And if it's possible, if we can start with Ms. Keisha, just in general, if you wanted people to support you, and which way could we go about that with even contacting you as well?
I feel like just in life as a whole, or to even start with some change, we all have to come together as a unit, as one. But the kids are so far gone to an extent, it's going to take so much. We got to really put our hats on and, tie our boots up, because this thing out here is real. And I'm with anything positive, motivating, and anything that's definitely going to help these children. Because not only did I lose a son, my other sons and my daughter also have issues now because we lost a child or a brother or a sibling. So I constantly kind of had to deal with that individually. It's still 5 children, as well as I have grandchildren. A couple of them were old enough to remember him. So it's not just me. You know what I mean? This thing is heavy. But I feel like I have the act to speak to the youngsters, but that doesn't mean, that's like we can walk a horse to the water, but we can't make them drink it. So to some extent, they have to feel comfortable with us to become a unit to somewhat change the dynamic of, if somebody gonna get a hold of these youngsters, we're not gonna have a we're not gonna be able to grow old. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna happen. There's nobody to pull us back. They're not doing anything now.
Yeah. So do you have an email address or anything that you want to state out there?
Keisha Hartman. My name is spelled Keysha Hartman, Hartman 39 at gmail.com.
Okay, cool.
My Cash App is
any Instagram or anything you want to.
Yeah, my Instagram is Can't Break Keish 10. My Cash App is
Cash App.
House of Yane. House, like a regular house of Yane. YAHNAE.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that.
I
And we can also
appreciate
drop it. We can also drop it in the chat later on as well. Go ahead, the mentor. You want to go ahead up next? How can they reach? You actually on mute.
Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
My name is Wayne Mason Mentor. You can reach me at my email is streetfam streetfam.bh@gmail.com. You can reach me on Instagram at strength STRE.F_behavior health _behavior _healthcare. And you can reach me if you really need me. You can reach me at 215-397-5123. I'm open 24/7. I got nice prices, and I got holistic care. I got care that ain't out here.
Okay, cool.
And
we appreciate
it's serious.
Okay.
I'm waiting.
Indeed.
It's on me.
Yeah, it's on you, Mr. John.
Yeah, my name is Jan Hakeem McKay. You can connect with myself and Life Outside the Streets at letshillphilly.org, spelled formally letshillphilly.org. My Instagram is at Philly, the number 4, Real Radio. Philly for Real Radio. And, just stay connected with the Reentry Connect podcast. You understand me?
Appreciate that. Yes, sir. Appreciate that, Ms. Natalie. Pastor Natalie, I'm sorry.
You can reach me at chcncox@gmail.com. And our church doors are open on Sunday, 10 o'clock, Sunday school. That's it. And then 11 o'clock is the service. The address is 6222 Lansdowne Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19151.
Cool. Okay, then we got JC first or Tony Lee, one of y'all?
You can reach me at what's on DA menu at gmail.com. Oh, I got it.
Tony Lee.
Okay, Tony Lee. So listen, first of all, I want to thank everybody for chiming in. I appreciate everybody for coming, giving their time, their energy into this. This means a lot to me because this is my movement and this is what I want to do. I want to make a difference for this next generation, and it's only going to happen if we all do our pieces individually. If you need in contact with me, I'm at Tony Lee 5917 at IG. My Gmail address is Tony Lee Philly at gmail.com. And also check me out on YouTube at Philadelphia Freedom Fighters 215-267.
Cool. We appreciate it. And without further ado, y'all, I'm your host, Keenan Hudson. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Pretty much a lot of people, a lot of listeners, different comments. Shout out to a lot of people that was viewing. Nonetheless, but we're definitely going to be having another roundtable as well. Hopefully next week, probably the same time. Let me discuss, with Brother Levi. This was definitely an informative live tonight. And I know a lot of people benefited from it. So it's being posted on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. So go ahead and check it out. You already know I'm Keenan Hudson. Y'all can find me there. And it's the Reentry Connect podcast. So without further ado, we're going to end it for the night. I'm going to say peace and blessings to everybody. And